Hey, welcome to the Ready to Lose podcast, where we look at what's going on in our brains to create the health and weight loss that we want. My name's Billy Blake, and I'm a certified life and weight loss coach determined to help women love themselves all the way to their goal. It's time to start losing weight in a way that actually feels like us and creating that healthy life that we love showing up for every single day. So tell me, are you ready to lose? Let's go. Hey, ready babes. Welcome back to the podcast where we are done with dieting, restriction, and overall being miserable just to lose a few pounds. We still want to lose weight. Absolutely. That is not going anywhere. This podcast is called Ready to Lose for a reason. But we're not doing it at the expense of our sanity, our happiness, or our ability to just enjoy our freaking lives. Like, yes, calorie counting or cutting sweets might help you drop 10 pounds. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? Doing that could create some weight loss. But if you gain those 10 pounds back every time there's a holiday that comes up or a family party, or you just want to go out with your friends one night, are you actually losing the weight? No, you're just yo-yoing. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. And I definitely don't want you stuck in a cycle of lose it, gain it, beat myself up for it forever. Like back in college, I remember one summer I did a cleanse and I lost around 10 pounds that summer. Okay, I came back to campus and everyone noticed, everyone praised me. And when they asked how I did it, I was telling them like, oh my gosh, I did a cleanse. But of course, I eventually gained all of that weight back. Because that cleanse, what we were doing, it's kind of funny because we were doing 2 shakes and a tiny meal at night. We had these 2 like fiber heavy shakes. We were taking a bunch of supplements and then do this tiny meal. But it's hilarious because that's exactly what I did for Slim Fast. It was 2 shakes and a tiny meal at night. Different brand. There might have been different nutrients in them, but it was the same crap, really. So I knew I could follow a cleanse for 10 weeks. But that didn't give me any skills that I needed to actually keep the weight off because I'm not going to be cleansing forever. I didn't want to be doing that for the rest of my life. So what's true for me, what's true for you is that I did not fail at dieting. You have not failed at dieting. Dieting fails us. I would think, oh my gosh, I just don't have enough discipline or willpower, but that wasn't the problem. I was an overeater, okay? But that's all that was happening. I was just an overeater. I used to say that I was a big eater. I always had room for more. I was always cleaning my plate. I always had room for anything sweet. Food was also how I dealt with stress. It was comfort. It was entertainment. It was my break from a hard day. And even though I was always eating, I was almost never truly hungry, except when I was starving myself on a shake or cleanse diet, okay? So I used to believe that overeating was all about discipline. Like if only I could stick to the 2 shakes, 1 meal for the rest of my life. But it's not. Okay, if only I could stick to 1,200 calories a day. But that's not a willpower or discipline thing. Overeating is just a missing skill set. There's one particular skill that a lot of us are missing that keeps us overeating. It keeps us in this overeating trap almost. And today I'm going to teach you what that skill is, or at least give you a starting point for it. Because if you've been stuck repeating patterns, gaining weight, quitting every Monday, and then, you're always swearing the next time is going to be so different. I can be better next time. I'll be more perfect. I'll avoid all the foods. If you're stuck in that cycle, it is not because you're weak. It's not because you're broken. It's not because you love food too much. It's just because no one has taught you this, okay? So the first thing I want you to take in, and if this is the only thing you hear today, let it be this one thing. Overeating is normal. The urge to overeat is normal. It is a normal human response. It is normal for your brain. It is normal based on what we're taught growing up. And if you also just look around at our society, it is also normal to be an overeater. But why we do this is we're avoiding uncomfortable feelings. Because again, that's how your brain's designed. It does not want to be uncomfortable. It does not want to be in a situation that feels hard. But also no one has ever taught us to process stress, boredom, overwhelm, sadness, pressure. And so because we haven't learned to deal with those emotions in another way, food is the answer. Food gives your brain that quick hit of relief And that's not a character flaw. It's just how you're coping right now. And that's okay if that's where you've been. But here's also the great news. Just because overeating is normal, it doesn't mean we have to keep doing it. Okay? Hear me when I say this. Yes, it is normal. Probably most people in your life are doing it. We have all learned to do this in some way growing up, but we don't have to keep doing it. How you stop overeating is you give yourself awareness. That is what you need. You don't need willpower. You need to see. You need to see where you're overeating right now. So let's get into some awareness. The big skill, the big awareness level when it comes to overeating is knowing the different types of hunger. There are two types that we work with in Ready to Lose. There's physical hunger and emotional hunger. Physical hunger is when your body actually needs fuel. It is asking you for fuel. It starts in your stomach, and then you notice it in your brain. Emotional hunger, you want food to feel better, to make something feel better than it does right now. And that starts in your brain, and then it can move to your body as an interpretation of hunger. So let me give you an example of this. One of my clients works from home. And we've been really working on telling the difference between emotional and physical hunger for her. Because on stressful days, like when things are blowing up at work, she's stressing out about a new project she got, all of a sudden she'll be starving. But it's not because her body really needs food. She's not actually literally starving, but because she was looking for that comfort. And both of them felt really real. She doesn't tell me like, I'm feeling emotional hunger today because I'm so stressed. She says, I am starving lately. I feel like I'm starving, but when we get into it, it's just stress. They both feel really real. And if you don't know how to tell the difference, you can easily confuse the two. When she's actually feeling hungry, which is a lot of the other times during the day, that is physical hunger. When she's so hungry for a snack anytime she leaves her office, that is emotional hunger. So here's the simplest way to tell which one you're feeling. Physical hunger starts in the body and moves to the brain. I like to compare it to if you burned your hand on the stove. If you are reaching towards a hot stove or you accidentally touch something hot, you feel that first. You have the pain in your hand and then you think, oh my God, I burned myself. That hurt, right? It starts though in your hand. You don't think, oh, I'm touching something hot. That hurts me so bad, and then feel it. So how physical hunger feels in your body is you might feel it in your stomach. That's a very common one. You get some sensation, some hunger pangs, or it starts grumbling a little. You might feel foggy. You might have lower energy. It might be harder to focus on certain things you're doing. You feel something like that, and then you think, I think I'm hungry. I should eat. Okay? Emotional hunger starts in the brain and moves to the body. First, you have a thought. Usually it's like, that sounds good, or today sucked. I deserve a treat. Then you get these hunger-like sensations. It also feels very urgent. An even easier way to test this, to differentiate between the two, is that if you could set a 10-minute timer and then you forget about being hungry, that wasn't physical hunger, that was emotional hunger. And yes, if you feel resistant to even trying that 10-minute test, that is also emotional hunger. If you feel angry with the idea of like, I don't want to wait 10 minutes or that won't work for me or that's not going to change anything, chances are you're feeling emotional hunger and you should try it. Again, you're not alone. That was me for years. I was walking around feeling like I was so hungry, I could eat so much, but it was just my emotional hunger. But once you know this, once you can see if you're eating for emotional reasons or for physical hunger, you could start changing your choices and it doesn't feel forced or restrictive or white-knuckling. Because think about it, when you do a calorie counting program and you're not aware, you do have a stressful work day and you feel like you're starving all day, but you only have, 1,500 calories. What the heck? I'm so hungry today. It's going to be hard to follow it. But if you realize, oh wait, I'm just stressed right now, and maybe develop some other skills, some other tools that you can use when you're feeling stressed, or even just that awareness, it's going to be easier to work through. So another example, that same client, her I'm starving would always come up after she left her office. She'd be in her office and she's fine. And then she leaves the office to go to the bathroom or go take a break from work. And then she's thinking, I'm so hungry, I need a snack. That was her emotional eating for stress. So for her, once we realized this, we put a sticky note on her office door that asks, am I hungry right now? And if the answer was no, She learned how to walk past the kitchen without eating. I'm going to go to the bathroom, even if my brain starts screaming that I want a snack. Because for her, it literally would start as soon as she walked through that door. So if she checks before she leaves her office and she's not hungry, it is so much easier for her to walk out, move on, work through that craving that comes up. And she was only able to do that because she finally understood what was happening in her brain and in her body. That is the missing skill, and that is what you were never taught. And that is the first step to really ending your overeating. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's me, that makes so much sense, I literally do that all the time, I have some really good news for you. You do not have to figure this out on your own. In fact, our group in January is called Hungry Girl Boot Camp. So we are spending 8 weeks practicing exactly what we talked about today. How to differentiate emotional hunger versus physical hunger. How to stop overeating without willpower. How to respond to cravings in a way that actually feels good, in a way that doesn't leave you just stranded and telling yourself you can't have that. How to build trust with yourself around food. So in this group, you're going to get weekly coaching with me, tools to use in real time, and support to actually apply what you're learning so you can stop overeating for good. On top of that, I'm going to be posting real live updates of myself eating throughout the day, because when I wanted to lose weight in the past, I'm like, okay, I'm going to download this plan. And I would see someone maybe on Instagram following it, or I'd see the trainer using it. And I'm like, yes, I need the same plan, but I could never follow it. Why couldn't I follow it? I was like, what is so different for them that they're able to do this and I can't for whatever reason? Y'all, the mindset piece, how to coach yourself through it, how to talk to yourself differently about it. So you're going to be getting those updates from me as I listen to my own hunger cues throughout the day. It is really the best place to be if you want to stop overeating in 2026. This group will help you figure it out. We are going to give you the tools, the strategies, and the coaching you need to finally make that change. So we start January 7th, and we're going to go till February 25th. We meet every Wednesday. If this episode clicked for you, if you realized, oh my gosh, yeah, I am emotionally eating, this boot camp is for you. So click the link in the show notes to join us and start your year feeling calm, confident, and in control around food, because you deserve that. You deserve to stop obsessing about food in 2026, and that's what we're going to do in 8 weeks. So click the link for more info and to get your spot, and I'll see you inside. And until next week, remember, you've totally got this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye! Thank you for taking time today to listen in. If this helped you at all, be sure to share it with a friend so she can stop feeling stuck and start creating the health and self-love she deserves. Or post it to social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me get the message out. I am so excited to be on this journey with you. Keep showing up for you. You'll get there. Talk to you soon.